What's going on, everyone? Shots with Cola here, and today we're taking a look at the first Holosun that's ever been on the channel. That's how we're going to do it. So I know we did a poll in the Sig Romeo 5 won, but when I went to go pick up the Sig Romeo 5, it was not in stock. And what was in stock was this Holosun ARO. And once I noticed it was the same color as the whole brace system that we're doing, and I was like, man, it kind of just goes with it. I've never been a huge proponent for Holosun. I'm not against their optics. I'm sure their optics were great. I just never thought that that cost that they had really equaled quality that significant over other things like the O-Sight and stuff like that. Not that it's not more durable. I've seen durability tests, and I am aware that they do tend to handle a little bit more impacts and stuff like that. But the way that I am with my firearms, it's never going to be one of those things that's substantial enough to matter to me. This, however, changes things up a little bit because this isn't your typical Holosun that ends up running you, above 200. This particular one is below 150. I don't know how much I can talk about that without getting in trouble. I do not promoting the sale of firearms or firearm accessories or anything like that, but for review purposes, that is a big factor. With this, the main things that you need to worry about when it comes to a red dot, when you're looking at the bare minimum, is it going to hold zero? How is the sight picture? And is it going to just like shut off on you after a few weeks? Those are kind of the factors that I look into because there are some knockoff accessories where you do have where for 2 weeks it works great and all of a sudden it just quits powering on. Things like that, because you deal with, concussions and everything on your firearm. So when they're on there, they are dealing with a little bit of shaking, vibrations, just altogether that force can cause failures in this stuff. Obviously, Holosun is a tried and true brand, and I don't think we're going to ever run into an issue like that. But we were able to get this at a point where things like your Swamp Foxes and stuff are. Now, obviously, if O-Sight would have made a rifle optic, we would have went that route because I do like their brand and I want to try all their things. They don't have anything like this. So the closest thing to like this that I have had that's in this category, you're going to look at things like the Swamp Fox, the Sig Romeo, I think it's the Romeo 5. It's either Romeo 5 or Romeo 1, which is supposed to be the best one for astigmatisms. Now we've got the Holosun ARO, which is the advanced rifle optic or something like that is what it stands for. Now they have an Evo model. This is not the Evo. This is the standard ARO. They come in a red dot, a green dot, and a gold dot. Now apparently the gold dot has the least amount of like reflection and everything in it. But I did go with the red for one reason, it was in stock. And the second one, I've been doing a lot of green dots and I wanted to just go back to a traditional red. It is a 2 MOA dot. Now the Evo you can interchange between a 2 MOA dot or a circle dot. I wanted to step away from the circle dots. I've got a lot of circle dot stuff right now. I wanted to get accuracy at a distance. And a lot of these circle dots, like for instance, this monstrum here. This monstrum is a circle dot. But that circle dot, when you start stepping past 20 yards, it consumes a lot of the target. It's hard to be precise. Where a nice little crisp 2 MOA dot is going to help me with that precision, which was the whole point of this brace setup. So that's why we went this route. So yeah, you can see here, it just kind of blends. It's just so nice. It all kind of just going together. We did remove the O-Sight off of the pistol. It's too low for it to matter. And I decided, you know what, if we decide to take the pistol out of here and just run the pistol, obviously I can take it out of this configuration and just redo that. This is a little system designed for it. It's actually got a rail in here, so it slides in it. So you can see, if we take everything out, this little charging, it's got a rail that helps guide it. It's another point to keep the pistol in place. It kind of just another security point to keep it all together. It's designed to run with that. So I decided to get rid of the O-Light. Now you could run the O-Sight though and use the O-Sight as the charging handle, but it was blocking me from being able to fire it in the collapsed form. We did try that at the range and it let me cycle about 4 rounds. The 5th one stovepipe, just because it wasn't able to get all the way back. But we're getting carried away with the brace. We're not talking about the brace. We were talking about the Holosun. If you are interested in the brace, there are videos on the channel about this. Go check them out, and there's a lot to come. So if you haven't, subscribe to the channel. There are so much stuff. There's so much stuff we're doing in here. Like, for instance, this 17 Gen 4 has an FRT in it, and it's going to be going in the brace, and we are going to be running it with an FRT. So we did go to the range with this. We tested it out. It did exactly what you would expect. It held 0. It gave me a good picture. It did, because of this system, I'm getting a lot of blowback, so the lens did get all dirty, but altogether, it did well. Let's go ahead and give you the sight picture of it so you guys can get an idea. It's got a nice crisp dot. So you can see, even with my astigmatism, the dot looks really good. So I've propped it up, had it pointed at something, and went side to side to see how the parallelics or whatever it's called is. Very minimal, if any. Really good dot. This is going to get people entry level. If they're interested in Holosun, it's going to help it make it reality. I know that they do have some other budget friendly optics. I just never really considered them. But once I found this, I was like, you know what? We really got to try this one. And I don't regret it. However, it doesn't mean that I'm just like a Holosun, like all the other people that try to create content. They all end up jumping on the Holosun bandwagon. It's like Holosun only or nothing at all. I still love my O-Sight products. I still love the other Amazon stuff for range things and everything else. So you got to give credit while credit's due. They jumped into that category and put like an actual contender in here. And where other brands, like, they tend to all be made in the same manufacturing location in China, Holosun is one of the locations where while it is made, like assembled over there, it's not, they've got their own kind of like little factory, I guess is the way. I tried to like research that some, and theirs came up with a different response about how it's not made exactly side by side with some of the other contenders, but like things like Olight and Zolicio and Feyachi and all of them, apparently they tend to be all made within the same like manufacturer. This one is kind of probably the same region of China, but not in the same manufacturer. I don't know if that means that that's why it's got more quality or anything like that, but I'm sure that there's just a few extra protocols when they design these to make sure that they're getting something that isn't going to take as much of a risk of failing. But again, I've never had a problem with my Olight products. The only issue that I'm starting to notice with a lot of them is the finish. You do get a little bit, even with my SE, my regular O-Sight, my O-Clip. Even on the O-Clip, you can see, you know, the wear that you kind of get on the metals. I'm getting them a little bit all over. So the finishes are kind of like wearing, but that's okay. It's because I use my stuff daily. Daily use my stuff. This finish does feel a little bit more sturdy. I don't think I'm going to get as much of that like little kind of like chipping. The way I'll explain that. So if you look here on the edges, you see that white? That's like chipping just from, you know, carrying and things like that, which is crazy because I didn't actually carry the Glock a whole lot, besides in a bag. But with this, it is IP67 or whatever rated, so pretty good water rating, sealed unit. I think that's like 3 meters in a bucket of water. So, I mean, if you drop this in a puddle or whatever, it's not going to get water in. It's not going to get all humidity built up in the lenses and everything else. So that's good. With the Evo, if you hold the minus button down, it will interchange between the dot and the circle dot. With this one, your plus or minus, just change the brightness level. And then there is a couple night vision levels. I don't utilize night vision. Not that I shouldn't, I just don't. So I don't really have a way to test that and give you my opinion on those, but it's always good to have those things. Again, not groundbreaking technology. Anything in the price bracket that this guy's in, most of them come with Shake Awake. Again, some of the budget-friendly optics like these, like, what was it? The SIG MSR is in the category with this. Didn't have Shake Awake from what I was told. Like how? How when your $20 to $40 Amazon ones can support Shake Awake, can they produce that at those price points and go, oh yeah, you don't get Shake Awake? I just feel like that's insane. They devalue themselves when they do things like that, in my opinion. Now, I'm not saying that SIG isn't a good optic. Like, I'm by no means am I saying that. But when you produce an optic that's over 100 and you can't put things in there like Shake Awake, but yet companies like Monstrum can produce a $30 red dot that offers Shake Awake. I know that there's price cuts in other places where there's value in other places with those optics, but some features like that, I can't think of a good excuse of why it's not included, in my opinion. And, maybe you know something I don't, and let me know in the comments. But that's what we got, the Holosun ARO or ARO RD2, whatever you want to call it. You get about 50,000 hours of battery life. It is a CR2032. There's a side battery tray. It does not come with a spare battery. It does come with a spare tray and spare tray screws, which I guess if you lose one of the screws, that's a good thing, right? It does come with, this is like a 1 point, I guess they said it was a 1-inch riser. And I'm assuming they're meaning from the base to the bottom of the lens, because there's no way the riser itself is that measurement. So I'm assuming that's how they go. I'm not a rifle person, so when it comes to rifle optics and stuff like that, you're just gonna have to excuse me. I'm not very knowledgeable on it. I'm not gonna sit there and lie to you and claim like I am. I've had very minimal. I've had a 300 blackout. I've had some 22s and not a ton, okay, is what I'm getting at. Ton of pistols. Ask me anything about handguns. I got you. When it comes to rifles, that's where we start getting a little bit vague. You also get 1.5 or 1.6 something riser, taller boy, for coat witness. For things that have a Picatinny, like your actual ARs, where you're gonna want to rise it, if I would have put that on here, I wouldn't have been able to zero it unless I was like extremely far away, farther than you're gonna shoot with 9mm. This was kind of maxed out to hit my zero at about 24 yards. I'm right near the bottom where you're getting to a tension point. So obviously can't run a riser with this guy, but you don't need to anyway. It's at the perfect point. When you kick this out, we're at a perfect point. That's exactly where you want it to be. Yeah, what do you think? What do you think of the Holosun ARO? Did we make the right decision? Do we need to keep searching for the best red dot for this setup? I think we're about here. They do have a rail coming to me, the right one that fits this, so I can put something over here. I don't know what yet. As much as I absolutely love the Olight PLX for a bag gun, I'm running into some issues where when I'm trying to extract it, it's activating. And I'm so scared I'm going to put it in there and something's going to hit it. And then we're going to have a very hot flashlight inside of an enclosed bag in the back seat of the car or something. And, that could turn out not ideal. I'm thinking the PLX might be coming off of here. Like I said, as much as I love it, I really like the PLX. I'm thinking we're going to need to put something else. And then also we're going to have this spot over here, and I'm not sure what to do with it. We also have a QD sling point right there. Where's it at? Right there. And I'm thinking about putting a single point sling on it. It's a thought. I do have, if I take that front little grill off here, which it's fully shootable like this, right? Recover Tactical, which I'm going to do a video on their stuff. They did send me a holster. So you could holster it on your side and have this guy chilling with you. The extraction of it is rather difficult though. So, and it's even harder when it's on your side. I've learned you just kind of gotta like bend it out. This brace, we're kind of going through a ton of testing. There's gonna be some recap videos with this, so we're gonna go over all of it. But on the Holosun ARO here, I think that we have found the perfect optic for this setup. Let me know what you think down below. And if you haven't, hit the like button on this video. Tell YouTube that my videos are actually kind of interesting and that they should share it with other people. And also consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't, because I do have a ton of videos to come and a bunch of videos I haven't even imported from the other channel. My other channel that we're going away from has over 400 firearm videos, and I haven't brought them all over here. I've only brought like 30. So there's a ton of content to come. I'm only bringing the ones that I really liked over there. I'm not bringing like everything, because there's some things I was learning a lot over the course of like 7 years. There was a lot of stuff that just, was me learning. There's information that I ended up finding out not to be 100% accurate, and just things that aren't really relevant to bring over here, but there's some that are good. So there's a ton of stuff to come to this channel, and I'd appreciate if you checked it out. So I also got playlists and all sorts of other stuff. Appreciate you guys watching. I will see you on the next one.